My name is Ashley Jones, aka Treasure Fingers.
My name is Landis LaPace, aka Landis LaPace.
Basically, it goes back to his release on Perfect Driver, which good friends with the label. They send me all their promos, and I put his track in my mix, and then we kind of linked up from there. And he did a record for my record label, and then he signed with the same booking agency that I'm with. So when I started booking this tour, they were asking me, support artists that I would like. And he was my first choice. So obviously, the release with my label and the same agency, it kind of made sense. So yeah, it all worked out perfect.
Yeah, that all just kind of came together like that. It's
Yeah.
cool.
It was actually good timing because his record wasn't even out yet when we started sorting that out. So it's like, that's great.
Yeah.
We'll have that drop. And then I had another EP scheduled for myself after that. So anything extra to go along with the tour, it all just panned out really good. I like I'll say the thing that stood out with him, which honestly hadn't really heard his DJ sets live until this tour started, so I kind of sort of took a gamble, but I was hoping he would be pretty good. But I was really blown away because it sounds like how he mixes and the track selection sounds like just a very veteran type DJ, someone who's been doing it long and has their shit down.
Thank you, man. I do not think it sounds like that, but that's cool. My thing I would say is just a very well-rounded musician. The tracks are on point, Kool-Aid's an absolute monster. And then DJing skills by far, dude, are superior to mine for sure. And it's nuts, it's really fun. And it's you beat mass like that. I was like, how the hell does that happen? I sit there for a minute trying to get a beat match. Sometimes I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I guess that comes with the experience, maybe. I can show you my ways. Gotta be his mentor on this tour. Mine is, so as far as a musician, I had learned to play guitar really young and piano, and actually took saxophone for a little bit, and then got into percussion and drums and all that sort of stuff. But that was all in school, school programs and stuff. Besides guitar, my dad taught me guitar. But when I was probably 12 or 13, and my dad taught me how to use his, he had a 4-track, a multi-track recorder, a drum machine, MIDI sequencer, and he would just use that and program drums and play fucking guitar on top of it, more rock stuff. But I learned to go in and switch all the sounds out on the drum machine to more electronic stuff, and I learned to program drums with that. So it was kind of that moment where I picked up just how to, I think it just clicked, I could compose a song all by myself with using the very minimal equipment. And then I was into, I say electronic, but it was just super weird, experimental stuff. And I quickly just went in, started a band, did punk stuff for a long time.
Did you wear all black and everything during that stage? Get a mohawk and shit?
No, I never had a mohawk. I definitely had dyed hair and an eyebrow ring. I still have a scar from it. But I did the punk thing for a while, and then really it was drum and bass that kind of grabbed me again. And it was just so chaotic and crazy sounding compared to I thought most electronic music was so boring, and that stuff was just wild to me. So that was kind of my bridge back into electronic music. Just dealing with a band with other members and traveling and playing shows that way, to realizing I can go back to just doing all this shit by myself was another big thing. It was I can just, I'm such a weird antisocial. I don't go hang out with anyone. I just go to the studio every day by myself and I make tracks, and that's my workflow. So to be able to do all that electronically was what kind of drew me back into full-on electronic music.
And then for me, music all started when I was like 3 or 4. I started playing drums, and I stayed with that until I was probably like 14, 15, so a pretty long time. And then my friend had FL Studio on his computer at his house. His name's Bradley. If he ever sees this, he's the reason why I got into this. And I started just making like little turds of songs in FL Studio. And then it just kind of progressed, and like 5 years later, or maybe 4 years, here I am. Just kind of happened fast.
My favorite one is actually not dance music, but these guys, London Drugs, put out a rap album on Fool's Gold, and it kind of came out late last year, like maybe November or something, maybe December, I don't know. It was like at the end of the year, and it blew me away to where I was like, this just trumps like everything that has come out this year. But it's kind of, they sampled all this like dope ass like boogie disco and kind of like old, just really good soul and funk samples and stuff. Like, I don't know where they found them. I can't recognize a single sample that they used. And then the rap is more like sort of like Bay Area sounding stuff, but the way that they came together and did that album was mind-blowing to me. That's what I've listened to the most. And I hate to say it, but I don't wake up and just listen to house music or techno like every day. I listen to a lot of other stuff. More so than that, I would say.
And the label?
The label, man, I don't know. There was a lot killing it last year. It would definitely be between. Actually, I really like Main Course, which you heard he is. Main Course, Perfect Driver, Dirty Bird. I don't know. It's tough. There's definitely a handful of labels like really killing it last year.
Favorite release, I'd say, is probably by Danny Days, his EP on Ultra Magic. I think it was called Ready to Go. That, and then the other song on it called Rhythm Box, it was just nasty. And then favorite label, there's a couple. Obviously Dirty Bird's gonna be on there, and Drum Code, absolutely love everything on there. And This Ain't Bristol. So,
oh yeah, Ultra Magic's a super good label too. Mine are really to ramp up the label. Like we just started last summer. So we're still a very young label, at least in my eyes. I think we've been doing pretty well though, as far as getting recognition and putting out cool stuff. So it's mainly streamlining that, just keeping the releases coming out, getting more press. For me personally, playing shows, I don't know. I'm trying to drop a lot more music this year than I used to put out. So part of that's due to the label. I have my own outlet now, so I can. If I made a track today, I could literally like sit here on my headphones, make a track, and then like, okay, this is gonna come out in a month. You know, like I have the power now. So you'll definitely see a lot more tracks from me, and then hopefully a lot more touring later in the year.
My plans are just to like work on my sound a lot, because I'm definitely not happy with where my productions are at, and just, you know, kind of keep progressing as much as I possibly can, and just, you know, yeah, play more shows and stuff like that.
I actually went to school for like design and online, or not online just marketing. But before I got into music full time, I did that sort of stuff, like some art directing, some advertising work, online advertising. So I would probably have stayed with that or go back to that if this all just fell out from the bottom. But I also really like illustrating and design in general. So if I could just be an illustrator, that would be a really nice life too. It's something I really love. If I could wake up and just draw silly shit every day and get paid, that'd be key.
For me, like what I wanted to do since I was a little kid is either A, enlist in the military or be a firefighter, because I have 2 uncles and now a cousin that are on. And yeah, I'd probably be a firefighter. It all depends. Like sometimes I'll start out with a really random percussion loop that I've made, or like a really random sound, you know, that I'm making in a VST. But usually it starts out with either A, a vocal sample, or B, like some sort of melody. It doesn't have to be like on a piano necessarily, like a, you know, normal melody. It can be like in Surrender, it all started with the little beep, like the high-pitched cowbell type of deal, and it just kind of went from there. So.
Yeah, I usually, well, my best tracks, and I've said this in like previous interviews when they ask like advice for, you know, up and coming producers or whatever. My thing was just if I go to the studio and I already have some idea in my head that's been stuck there for that day, or sometimes it's weeks. Like if I'm on tour, I don't really go to the studio until afterwards. So there'll be times where I've had this weird idea just running in my head for 3 or 4 weeks, and then when I go to the studio, it's just magical. Like it comes together within like 4 hours, because I know I can visually see it in my head, even like how it's sequenced out on the computer. So I go in there and I just start like connecting all the dots, getting it to sound like I want, and it all kind of works. But if I don't have that idea, it's a little bit more of a struggle. But yeah, I go in and I lay out drums just to have the basic, kind of the basic vibe, the rhythm of the track, or to kind of set the groove, maybe just drums and a little bit of a bass line. And then from there I'll play around and try to get a good, like you said, a good melody or a good vocal, because I feel like there's a lot of really well produced tracks and well engineered that sound great on a club system, but they don't have that little extra thing that kind of like catches you, like a hook, I would say. And I've always told people that, like, if your track has that one thing where say there's a group of girls at your gig and they're fucking partying, like whatever, bachelorette party, going off wasted, is your track that you play gonna be something that they'll wake up the next day and be like, man, what was that one song that he played that went like this? And there's some element that they can describe it to their friend with, that you know, someone without any musical knowledge can describe a track to their friend. And if it doesn't have that, then it might be a cool track, but it's going to be filler. Like, it's not going to turn into anything more than that. So, lately it's such a small little VST, but I use the company is called Transfer Records, and they make Serum and all this other dope stuff. Like, I use Serum a lot too, but LFO Tool is definitely on almost every one of my tracks, and it's just an envelope, automated like envelope LFO, and I use that. I stopped even compressing using sidechain compression, because you can draw in on the LFO tool how you actually want the volume to duck out. But hardware, I got a lot of stuff, but I use my Moog Voyager the most. That's like my prize.
You have one?
Yeah.
Dude,
they don't make them anymore, so
much.
Yeah. So that's like my number one thing that I can go to for. I mean, it can make anything you want, really. Like, such a beast.
I'm really jealous. You have one of those. I did not know that. I want one of those.
I can't. On the Atlanta show, we'll have to go by the studio.
Yeah, that'd be tight.
Twiddle around.
I use like 100% silence in every song. In Massive a little bit. And just some random little FL Studio plugins as well. I haven't spent a lot of money on hardware, really any money at all. I don't have a mic. I use like a little like piece of crap Zoom recorder for vocals. So, but yeah, silence is definitely my favorite.
We have a collab in the works, actually. When I first kind of met him on the internet, I guess, We met in a creepy chat room. No, yeah, he just emailed me out of the blue and was like, "Hey, I have this thing I started. Like, might be cool to collab with, and you know, if you have any ideas for vocals." And I've been working with a vocalist in Atlanta, so he actually had come in the studio that week, and I played it for him, and he just went off and like killed it. But it's kind of set still for now. I know it's going to be a big track, but we just haven't touched it yet. So maybe when we got Atlanta coming up, which is where my home base is. So maybe on that tour date we'll go in the studio.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we can finish it then. Or we'll probably wrap it up after the tour, send the parts back and forth.